How's it going? My name's IPA Fan. This is Church of Chug, and today we are both chugging a lactose or milk sugar beer and talking about them as well. So let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Gordy.
Gordy drinks craft. I'm gonna be chugging Yak It Up by Tripping Animals. Triple boysenberry, blueberry, raspberry, vanilla milkshake with milk sugar. And it's at 10%. So that's started off pretty good.
Nice. Nice. You're not fucking around.
All right. Nuts.
J-Hump.
Craft wetness here. I'll be regrettably chugging this snow cone sour from Artisanal. Got a nice little ice cream on there. It's a cherry sour. Yeah, cherry flavored sour.
Cool.
6%.
That works. Ice Queen.
Ice Cream Bruce, and I'll be chugging a beer that I've had in my fridge forever called Fat Grasshopper. It's milk chocolate milkshake ale brewed with lactose, mint, and chocolate. So we'll see how it's surprisingly very clear. Like I expected it to be like a little bit thick, but we'll see.
Super clear. Ricky.
All right, what's up, guys? Ricky with the good beer here. I'm going to be drinking Groove Tube out of Brick City. This is a double dry hopped IPA with Citra Crypto, Mosaic, and Medusa, and of course lactose, and conditioned on pear and guava puree.
Nice. I'm going with First Flight Out of Mason Illworks. It's a fruited sour. And all I know is the fact that it simply said lactose at the end. So that's what I'm going with. Special guest today, we have Katie. Katie, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Katie. Handle is Drinking Outside the Box. And today I've got an Orpheus beer. They did a dedication to Revolution Donuts. It's a donut shop in Atlanta. Really good if y'all are ever in town, but it is a berries and cream milkshake IPA.
Nice. All right. So this is kind of weird. We usually have somebody in the middle. Today it looks like we do not have someone in the middle. So how about the guests? You do the honors and go ahead and count us down.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Cheers.
Bye-bye to my butthole.
That was super delicious on my end.
Yeah.
That tastes like an ice cream.
Oh my God.
That
was good.
Delicious and smooth. Mine had
a myself.
So good. What about you?
It tasted good, but that like 36-hour hangover that I'm experiencing right now, combined with just chugging a beer, my body was like, go
what
screw
the fuck?
Yeah. How dare you do this to me?
Hey, how you feeling?
Good so far. This is a nice can.
Hang in there, buddy. Hang in
You guys know
there.
that? You guys know that ice cream we used to eat as kids, like the Big Dipper? I'm not the Big Dipper. Was it the Big Dipper? It's like the big red one. It's like a big. It's called a big stick or something like that.
Big stick, yeah, big stick.
That's what this tastes like.
That's what she said. Too soon. I'm sorry.
Who said that?
So, anyways, what are you guys cruising with? What's your relaxing fun beer? Does not have to be lactose, by the way.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh shit.
I mean, we're going to talk about lactose beer, so.
All right, I'm keeping the lactose then, since I fucking went all the way to Jersey to get these beers.
Just so everybody knows, we're going to be talking about lactose beers and milk sugar and all that stuff. And what we know.
Is it me? Sis, I can barely hear you.
Yeah.
Is it just me?
No, I can barely hear him.
Okay, I'll speak up a little bit louder. But anyways, we thought we were going to have Henry, one of our other members here, and he was going to break down the science for us. But since we don't have him, we'll just talk about what we know and go from there. So let's go ahead and talk about what we do have with us and what we're cruising with. Let's go and start with J-Hump. What do you got, bro?
I'm not gonna do a lactose again because fuck that. So I went with Drecker, triple IPA.
And they are known for their sours, sometimes with lactose. So fair enough.
Yeah, I chugged the brains and it ended my day.
Gordy, what you got, Mo?
I'm drinking another one from Tripping Animals. We're going with a triple mango passion fruit vanilla milkshake, and it's brewed with Citra and Mosaic hops.
Nice.
Classic.
Another 10%er.
Damn, girl, I'm going to your house.
Yeah. He won't be there, dude. He's gonna be asleep by then. Ricky, what you got, brother?
All right, guys. So, like I said, I'm sticking with Brick City. Another one of their lactose beers. This one's called Cara Cara Colada. This is a sour ale conditioned on Cara Cara orange puree and toasted coconuts, and of course containing lactose.
Nice. And Sam?
I have a frosé with me, a King's Frosé Puff the Magic Dragon. This has like a whole bunch of berries and marshmallow in it, so I'm sure there's some lactose in there. I tried to find out if there was or not. I know they normally do put them in them, but I couldn't find the listing that said for sure it was in there, so I just ran with it.
I mean, you got marshmallows. I'm sure there's got to be lactose, right?
Yeah.
And I am doing a Common Space Cool House Pint of Pride Rainbow Sherbet Ice Cream. So this is twofold awesome. One is obviously Pride Month and celebrating everybody. And then the fact that it's rainbow sherbet, which happens to be my all-time. So, I mean, it's
the percentage on that.
It is 7.
There he is.
Henry, what's up, dude? About time. Excited you're here, dude.
Go ahead, chug your beer. We'll watch you.
Yeah, we'll just
trying to connect.
So while you get your beer ready, Katie, what do you got?
I've got brewed in Carrollton, Georgia, this nice mug of water because I have to be a contributing member of society tomorrow, and I think I've consumed enough alcohol to last me about 3 months this weekend. So.
Hey,
I ain't mad at that.
So since you're not in the direct consumption of beer right now, is there any lactose or milk sugar beers in the area that you highly recommend to anybody?
I'm going to sound really hateful when I say that I would very rarely recommend a lactose beer to anyone.
Thank you. I like her.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You're safe here.
Yeah, I mean, I like milkshake IPAs, but honestly, like IPAs are not typically what Georgia's known for anyway, so that wouldn't necessarily be local, but I'm over them. So I don't really have one in particular where I'm like, yes, let's go.
I want to say milkshake IPAs were huge probably like a year, maybe a year and a half ago. Then they had their little run. I think they just finally died out.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I think they had their popularity for a little bit, like the sweet, really sweet milkshake IPAs. I know they still use, like in this case, I know they still use lactose in a lot of the fruitier sours just to get that fruit, that you know, that sweetness in it. And it's still used in a lot of other beers as well, like some of those really fruity milkshakes and all that stuff as well.
And to be fair, I do, like I said, I like milkshake IPAs. To be honest, I like lactose less so in like the more sour beers, because at least the ones I've had, they tend to be the like with vanilla flavors and stuff like that in there. And like creamsicle ones I can get down with, but any other fruited beer with the vanilla, I think it's just the flavor combination. It just throws me.
Well, I think it's the flavor combination and the calories. Those are probably like 500 to 600 calories a can. You know, it's just like they're up
like
there.
an Ensure, but without the benefits.
So let's put this on the chemist real quick.
Yeah.
Can you give us just a little rundown on what lactose is and how it works in a beer?
First of all, what are you
Google.
drinking?
So I'm actually drinking Brick City. It's called Fit for a Queen, which is a blueberry cobbler
Ooh.
milkshake IPA, 8% with lactose in it. So it's actually pretty tasty. We had it on draft earlier today, which is pretty good. But yeah, lactose. So lactose is actually a non-fermentable sugar. So the yeast itself will not actually ferment into alcohol. All it does, it just gives it what the word that I don't like, mouthfeel to a beer. But
Really?
but it pretty much that's what it is, dude. You're a lot of people use lactose, to be honest, to cover up mistakes when beers are made.
So let me ask you, on most of the time, if you see lactose, are you like, I don't want to try that because they probably messed up that beer? Or are you like, oh, let's see how the mouthfeel is?
I mean, I was gonna say mostly.
I think that depends on the brewery.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
But Henry,
No, you're right. You're right about that, dude. It mostly depends on who the brewer is and who's brewing the beer. But lactose in particular, I mean, like I said, it does give that mouthfeel. It does enhance the beer a little bit.
Right.
Pillowy mouthfeel, whatever.
Yeah, it gives it that pillowy feel, gives it that creamy feel to it, but overall, it's not going to increase any of the alcohol content in a beer. It's there just as a supporting ingredient, pretty much.
And so let me ask, my personal thing is, I've never been a huge fan of lactose in beer. Like, I'm not for or against it either way. But whenever there's milk sugar, like, my fucking antennas go up and I'm like, oh, let's try this shit out, because only 3 beers I've had, granted, with milk sugar, but every single one with milk sugar has been fucking phenomenal. So how is that different? Or is it just, tell me like I'm an idiot, because in this case I kind of am.
I think lactose is milk sugar.
Lactose is milk sugar.
It's just the same shit?
It's the same thing.
What? I told you I was an
There
idiot.
you go.
To this.
It comes from milk. It comes from the sugar part of milk, that chemical, right? That was it
So lactose is literally sucrose and glucose combined. It's a polysaccharide. It's basically what it is.
Okay. So
Oh yeah, I knew.
why would somebody call it and even the same brewery, I've literally had at the same brewery where they've called it lactose, and then a different beer called it milk sugar.
That's interesting.
I'm thinking
That's interesting, but it is the same thing though.
like,
In talking to one of my brewer friends here, it's just, I think sometimes what you think will sell, like, them calling something a Japanese Pilsner versus like a rice lager, like just putting different names on it just because, I mean, the end goal is for people to buy your shit.
Obviously, it's a
so-
selling point.
and to be honest with you, I think it also to sell to some, like how some people are like lactose intolerant, so they see the word lactose and then you're like, I'm not gonna buy that. But if they see milk sugar,
Sure.
they're like, oh, some type of sweet sugar.
And then they're
That's-
tricked.
That's why I'm tricked. That's why I bought the milk sugar one instead of said lactose.
And they fucked you bad.
honestly, on everything, I felt like milk sugar was something at the end that was like, not necessarily condensed, but some type of sugar derived from milk that they just threw on at the end that was like more like powdered.
Yeah, like lactose.
Mhm.
Not lactose during the creation of beer, but just at the end, like, a sweetness to it. So it has nothing to do with anything other than the name. It doesn't have to do with when they throw it in, how they throw it in, the type of level or quantity or anything like that. It's
Henry, if I'm not mistaken, lactose is usually thrown in the boil, right?
It's thrown into the boil towards the end of the boil.
No.
interesting.
I think milkshake IPAs or lactose or any of that, it's a 1 can and you're done. You can't buy a 4-pack and be like, I'm really gonna enjoy this. It's just like, let's just get one and let's try it. I think that's where I'm at with it.
Well, when that whole milkshake I remember when the whole milkshake craze came out. I think it was, and I want to say early on in our area anyway. I think Tired Hands was one of the first people that really came out with the milkshake and the milkshakes and stuff like that. And they were a hit, dude. Everybody wanted to grab their hands on the milkshake IPA or and of course they had their run and whatever, but I think people went back to like, I just want to taste the traditional IPA again without or a northeast IPA without having extra lactose put in it. So they had their run. I think they're still around. Obviously, people are still making them. We just went to a brewery that had 3 on tap, so they're still, they're still being used, obviously. But
yeah, obviously,
not
Keen's out in
popular.
Rancho, they're the ones still pushing it, and they're still selling.
Yes.
For Great Notion will have one here and there, but I like it that they don't come out all the time. And when I think a brewery pushes the milkshake, I think like Cisco said, they're hiding something. That's the way I look at it.
Well, because like Henry said earlier, it's easy to mask an off flavor if it's a slight off flavor. It's easy to add a little bit of something, a little bit of lactose, and all of a sudden now it tastes a little sweeter, and now it's good. You know what I mean?
I've had some beers where it didn't list like the lactose or whatever, but then you go look it up on tap and then it says it's lactose on there. So that's another reason why they try to probably cover up their mistakes or something. If they were listed.
And a friend of mine in Atlanta he works for a distributor, I want to say, that's always his big rant because he's pretty lactose intolerant. And so he's forever, it's like he can't enjoy his hobby without hidden bombs at this point. Like,
right?
I know it's going to fuck you up, man.
That's
Russian roulette.
No pun intended, hidden bombs.
Yeah, and
I think lactose got thrown into. Hold on. Go ahead, Richie.
Lactose teach you the same as like the lactose in milk? Like, is it the same? Is it the same thing? Like somebody that's lactose intolerant, is this still hits you exact same way? Like, obviously I'm not.
I don't know. We'll have to ask that question if anybody is lactose in this group.
Let's see who starts farting first. I'm looking at Jared.
Jared, come on, man.
I think when it comes to IPAs, man, IPAs and the use of lactose in IPAs, I think it was more of a market thing to get people to try IPAs that are not going to be bitter, harsh, so lactose gets thrown in as an ingredient to, kind of hide that. If you have a milkshake IPA or if you have an IPA in general that has lactose, you're not going to get the bitterness. You're not going to get the hoppiness that a normal, New England IPA or any IPA has. So I think in general, it's to mask flavors,
And especially like you said with the New England is typically already, because we were just at a brewery and we ordered and our buddy ordered a traditional IPA, New York, East Coast style IPA, and it was clear as day. And I ordered a New England IPA, and you could already tell hazy, nice and hazy, whatever. You throw a little lactose in there, and now it appeals to a little bit more people because, oh damn, now it just tastes like orange juice. It's nice and sweet. You know what I mean?
I was just hard on lactose and didn't even consider milk stouts. And I will say that I love a milk stout. So I'm hating on it on the other side, but some of the first beers I ever even liked, milk stouts.
A lot of the pastry stouts, we should have gotten Brooklyn on here.
Also, it does make sense in something like this that has milk chocolate, it has mint, of course you would want the flavors of those to smooth over with something. So you would obviously use, to me, it works in that kind of stuff, like very desserty type things. So I enjoy that it's there because of that, as a dessert type.
So lactose isn't just a mouthfeel, it is some sweetness to the beer as well, right?
Yes.
Right. It takes that.
Definitely.
So in that case, going back to your point, Henry, about depending who brews it, they could possibly make a beer just with or throw in milk, sugar, or lactose because they wanted to have a sweetness in there, not necessarily to hide something.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
as messed up as it sounds, it depends on who brewed it or who the brewer is, because in
Yep.
that case, you're going to be like, oh, this is a lactose beer and it's good because I know it's a good brewery and they threw lactose, as opposed to this is a brewery that I don't have fond ideas of and they threw lactose. It's probably a horrible beer that they just try to cover right now.
Yep.
That's kind of a dark image of it, but I completely understand that, man. It makes sense. 'Cause-
Well, if you think about brewing, some of the breweries brewing 20 barrels or something like that, at the end of the day, if it's a little off, you probably don't want to throw it away, right? You fucking,
right.
you want to throw a little bit of something in there.
They
Let's
have
sugar it up.
to market it too. You know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, you're never gonna see a West Coast IPA have lactose in it because that's not the flavor profile to it. There's no way. Screw it up, you just screwed it up. To me, in my mind, like sticking lactose in there, like you better rebrand it as something else.
So,
Right.
so with that being said, with what Ice Queen said, for the people on the West Coast, for us on the East Coast, we find lactose in some of the the milkshakes or the Northeast IPAs. Where do you guys see most people using lactose?
Mostly in the sours.
Sours.
Sours or those kind of things, but I mean, I would never see someone put it in a West Coast IPA.
No.
That just
And-
doesn't sound right.
And very rarely do you even see that in a hazy on the West Coast. You don't see that milk sugar.
They don't like it.
So
Absolutely do not. But
Perfect for me.
few hazies I've had with milk sugar or lactose have been pretty phenomenal. So maybe I just like beers that they messed up on that they
Hey
did.
man, it's like being a kid and getting candy, man.
There you go.
You get that little sweetness, and all of a sudden you're like, hell yeah.
I put it on everything, dude. It was one of my top 3 beers that I had in the last 2 years.
Hey Henry, can you just get us some lactose and we just sprinkle a little bit on everything we drink?
I mean, lactose is easy to get.
Like Salt Bay and shit. You put in your beer.
yeah, next Sunday at the bottle share, let's do that. Just bring over the lactose. We'll
Oh, geez.
splash it on everywhere.
Just in case.
If you want me to blow up your toilet, Gordy, then that's fine.
Do you guys find that sweeter beers also give you worse hangovers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say that.
It's like drinking wine.
Like especially when you drink like a lot of pastry stouts. I remember that last hangover I had when I went to a pastry town. It was no good, dude. That was the worst one I've had in a bit.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely the pastry beers. I know they use a lot of sweetness and a lot of lactose as well, but
Yeah.
those things get you. Plus, they're high alcohol too. So
I've heard something connect to the fact that like if you were to go to a bar and have quote unquote girly drinks, you're more likely to have a hangover than if you were to go to a bar and just have straight liquor with one thing mixed in it. I have absolutely no idea if that's true, and I am not saying that this is something I believe in, but it kind of makes sense if you're just drinking sugar the whole night or high
Sugar with shitty alcohol.
Yeah, that you're likely to get hungover because of going back to Henry's point, and what Cordy just said, you're drinking shitty alcohol with sugar to hide the shitty alcohol, then you're probably going to be hungover because they're not giving you that high quality alcohol.
The reason Vegas has dollar drinks is because of shitty alcohol.
Don't you ever talk bad about Vegas.
The main reason is that your liver has to work twice as hard. Your liver has to break down the alcohol and it has to break down the sugar.
That makes sense.
So your hangover is twice as bad with a sugary drink.
No wonder I got screwed up with wine. I think that's been my worst hangover of all time.
Same. Wine tasting, yeah.
That's
Mm.
why Katie's hanging on 36 hours right now.
No, that would be gin and tonics and tequila.
Ooh.
Damn, girl.
Ooh, nothing wrong with tequila.
Yeah.
And rum at the beginning of the night. So I kind of hit all the
Mm.
clear alcohol spectrum there, other than vodka. So
Oh, no
Well,
potatoes, huh?
no potatoes for me.
Did
Just
you
the
you said you was
rest.
at a bachelor party? Is that why?
Bachelor party, yeah.
Oh, I did one of
And I
those.
was
That
brought
was
in
fun.
as the ringer to like have the party atmosphere, which I did, and just took myself down with it. Like
Nice.
I went down with that ship hard. So
Did you guys have lactose there?
I wish.
Cool. With I think that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you, Katie, for joining us, and
Thanks for having me.
that's it.